Hello students, in this video we are going to talk about inverse Laplace transformation. Inverse Laplace transformation. In the last video in the last three videos we looked at the Laplace transformation. Here we will be talking about inverse Laplace transformation. So if you have understood the Laplace transformation, then this is quite simple. So as you must have expected, given a function f of x, if you call Laplace transform of this function as f of s, then Laplace inverse transformation of the function f of s will be f of x. So this is how the Laplace inverse transformation of a function f of s is defined. For example, so you can have formulas. So inverse Laplace transformation formulas, you already have the formulas for Laplace transformation. From there itself you can derive the formula for inverse Laplace transformation formulas. Right, so you had this L of x, 1 was 1 by s, so therefore this implies L inverse of 1 by s will be 1. You had L of L of x was 1 by s square, so it implies L inverse of 1 by s square is x. Right, let me write it clearly. So this is x here. So you had L of x raised to power n was n factorial upon s raised to power n plus 1. Therefore, L inverse of 1 by s raised to power n plus 1, because this is a constant, so you can take it on the other side, is x raised to power n upon n factorial, right? Then you have you had this formula that L of e raised to power ax is 1 upon s minus a. So it implies that L inverse of 1 upon s minus a is e raised to power ax, right? Similarly, you have L of sin x. Sin ax was a upon s square plus a square. So it implies L inverse of a upon s square plus a square is sin ax, right? And then you also had L of cos of ax was s upon s square plus a square. So this implies L inverse of s upon s square plus a square is going to be cos of ax. So you had L of sine hyperbolic ax was a upon s square minus a square. So this implies L inverse of s upon s square minus a square is going to be sine hyperbolic ax. Similarly, you had L of cos hyperbolic ax as s upon s square minus a square. So this implies L inverse of s upon s square minus a square is cos hyperbolic ax. Right. So whatever the formula is known to you for the Laplace transformation, correspondingly you will have a formula for Laplace inverse transformation. Also note that Laplace inverse transformation is a linear transformation. How? You have very simple L. If you want to find out L inverse of, say, alpha fs plus beta g of s, right? So what is this? This is basically, if suppose this is a function, say you want to prove that this is a linear transformation, then how you can prove that? You need to prove that this should be equal to alpha L inverse of f of s plus beta L inverse of g of s, right? So this is what you want to prove. So let us assume L inverse of f of s is, say, f of x, and L inverse of g of s is, say, g of x. So here you get that f of s is actually L of f of x, right? And here you get g of s is L of g of x, right? Now what you can do, you can multiply this with alpha and this with beta. So multiply this with alpha and this with beta, you'll get alpha f of s plus beta g of s is alpha L of f of x plus beta L of g of x. Now because L Laplace transformation is linear, so you can write this thing as L of alpha f plus beta g, and this thing here is alpha f of s plus beta g of s. Now you can take the Laplace inverse. Take Laplace inverse. So what you will get? You will get L inverse of alpha f of s plus beta g of s is equal to alpha f of x plus beta g of x. Now what is L f of x? Look at here. F of x is L inverse of f of s. So this is alpha L inverse of capital F of s plus beta L inverse of capital G of s. So you get that L inverse of alpha F of s plus beta G of s is alpha times L inverse of F of s plus beta times G inverse of L of s. L inverse of G of s. So it implies that L inverse is linear. So this is the property which we are going to use again and again. So let me give you some examples. For example, if you want to find out what is L inverse of 2s plus 5 upon s square plus 25. Now you see you have to make the use of these formulas which I have made a list here, right? These formulas somehow you have to use. So for that you need to break them into simpler things. So clearly because L is linear, so you can write it as L inverse 2 outside s upon s square plus 25 plus L inverse of 5 upon s square plus 25. You note that here I am using the fact that L inverse is linear. Right, now you see what is this formula? This is cos 5x, right, plus what is this? This is sine 5x. So this is your answer to this problem, right? So similarly you can find out, for example, if I give you something like this, say I give you this L inverse of, you have to find out 5s square plus 13s minus 16 upon s minus 1, s minus 2, s minus 3. Right. So here you see there is no formula which will be directly applicable to such form. You don't have the formula in the list. So what you can do, you can try making it simpler, and for that the best thing is make partial fractions. So you can write it as a upon s minus 1 plus b upon s minus 2 plus c upon s minus 3. This is how you make the partial fractions. So you assume that this is equal to 5s square plus 3s minus 16 upon s minus 1, s minus 2, s minus 3. So this is a into s minus 2, s minus 3 plus b into s minus 1, s minus 3 plus c into s minus 1, s minus 3. So this is equal to 5s square plus 3s minus 16. So you just put s is equal to 2. You will get, this is gone. I'm sorry, here s minus 1, s minus 2. So if you put s is equal to 2, this is gone, this is gone. So you'll get b into 2 minus 1, 2 minus 3 is equal to, s is equal to 2 here. So you'll get 5 into 4 plus 3 into 2 minus 16. So that is 20 plus 20 plus 6, 26 minus 16, that is 10. So you get the value of a as, this is 10, b into, so you'll get s is equal to 2. Okay, so this is b into 1 into minus 1. So you get the value of b is minus 10. Is that correct? You can check it once again. If I put s is equal to 2 here, this term will go and this term will go. So you'll get this term only. So s minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1 here, and 2 minus 3 is minus 1 here. And if you put it here, so this is 4. 5 into 4, 20 plus 60 plus 6, 26 minus 16. This is 6, I'm sorry. Right. So this is 20 plus 6 minus 16. 26 minus 16. That is 10 only, right? But in my calculations I have written something else. Okay, fine. Maybe you can do the calculations. So you'll get the values of a, b and c, right? So you'll get the values of a, b and c, and after that you can write it as L inverse of a is your constant s minus 1 plus b is a constant upon s minus 2 plus c is another constant, that is s minus 3 here. So you can write it as a into L inverse of 1 upon s minus 1 plus b into L inverse of 1 upon s minus 2 plus c into L inverse of 1 upon s minus 3. Now you can find out the L inverse. This is e raised to power x. This is e raised to power 2x, e raised to power 2x, and this is e raised to power 3x, right? So this is your answer, right? So we can do the calculations also. I think you from here you'll get the value of b as 10, right? And then you can put s is equal to say 3. Then these two terms will get cancelled and you'll get the value of c and so on. Okay, so this was the introduction to Laplace inverse. Now we had properties for Laplace transformation. So you had these properties for Laplace transformations already, properties for Laplace transformation. Then you can have corresponding properties for Laplace inverse, corresponding properties for Laplace inverse transformation, properties for Laplace inverse transformation, right? So you see, first property was first shifting, so you have L of f of x is equal to f of s, then L of e raised power ax f of x was f of s minus a. So this was the first property. So correspondingly you will have a property here, that is if L inverse of f of s is f of x, then if you replace s with s minus a, that will be e raised power ax f of x. So this is the corresponding property here. Now let me write down the first I'll write down all the properties, then we'll take the questions. Second property was here for the Laplace transformation. You had this property that if you have L of f of x as f of s, then if you differentiate on the, if you multiply on the left hand side with x, you have to differentiate with the negative sign on the right hand side. So dy by ds of f of s, right? So correspondingly you will have a property here that if L inverse of, this is the first property, this is the second property, L inverse of f of s is f of x, then L inverse of f dash s will be minus x f of x, right? From here you'll get this. So if you differentiate it once, you'll have to multiply with a negative sign and you have to put an x there, right? And you can generalize it also. L of x square f of x was minus 1 raised to power 2 d2 by ds2 f of s. So here if you are talking, then L inverse of f double dash s will be minus 1 square, right, x square f of x, and so on. So this is how your properties are there, right? And okay, let us for these two properties we can solve some problems, right? Otherwise everything will mix up. So let me write down the examples. So you have this example. Suppose I want to find out L inverse of 24 upon p plus 25, p plus 2 raised to power 5 plus 2 upon p plus 2 plus 5 upon p plus 2 square, right? Here you see, first you will use that because of linearity, I can write it as 24 into L inverse of 1 upon p plus 2 raised to power 5 plus 2 up into L inverse of 1 upon p plus 2 plus 5 into L inverse of 1 upon p plus 2 square. Now you see here, I know the formula for, here you see I have used the variable p. I told you the variable is dummy, right? So it can be anything, it can be s also, p also. So here, because I know the formula for 1 upon p raised to power 5, but I don't know the formula, inverse formula for p plus 2, so I can use the first shifting. First shifting says that if on the left hand side you are replacing your variable with s minus a, then you have to multiply with e raised to power ax. Here your variable is p plus 2, so it means that you are replacing with p minus minus 2. Therefore you have to multiply with e raised to power 2x into L inverse of 1 upon p raised to power 5 plus, this is simple, 2 e raised to power minus 2x plus this also the same thing. Here you have p plus 2, so it means that you have to multiply with e raised to power 2x. So this is your first shifting here, right? So this is L inverse of 1 upon p square. Now this is 24 e raised to power x. What is this? This is x raised to power 4 by x raised to power 4 by 4 factorial plus 2 e raised to power minus 2x plus 5 e raised to power 2x. And what is this? This is the L inverse of x, right? 1 upon p square is L inverse of x, that is like L inverse of 1 by p square is x. So you get, this will cancel, so your answer is e raised to power x, x raised to power 4 plus 5 e raised to power 2x. Here also you have 2x into x plus 2 e raised to power minus 2x. Fine. Here also you have this minus sign here, right? So this will be minus, and here also you have p minus minus 2, so you have minus 2 here. So minus 2, minus 2, minus 2 everywhere, right? So this is your final answer. So this is how you solve the problems. So let us look at another example. You have this example that you have to find out L inverse of 1 upon p square minus 4p plus 8, right? So this will be your L inverse of 1 upon p square. You see, you know the formulas when the base is like you have s square minus a square type things. So you can make it minus 4p. I can complete the square, so I can add 4. I can write 8 as 4 plus 4. So this is L inverse of 1 upon p minus 2 square plus 4, right? Now I know the formula if this is p only. So what I can do, I can use the first shifting. You use first shifting. So this is e raised power 2x into L inverse of 1 upon p square plus 4. Now I know that if 2 is there, so I can multiply and divide by 2. Now I know the formula for this. This is sine. E raised power 2x by 2 sine of 2x, right? So this is how you can find out the solutions, right? Here, because you have minus 2, right? So you have s minus a. So your a is 2 here, right? So your a is 2 here. Let us look at another example. There are so many examples. So you can look at this L inverse of 3s minus 1 upon s minus 2 square. So this we can write it as, you can write here also, you make s minus 2. So this is 3s minus 2, right? Minus 6, you do plus 5. So that will be minus 1. S minus 2 square. I can write like this, no problem. Now I can use first shifting. It will be e raised power 2x, right? Then you have L inverse of 3s plus 5 upon s square. Now I can write it as e raised power 2x, right? Then you have L inverse of 1 by 3 by s plus L inverse of 5 by s square. So this is e raised power 2x. This is 3 plus 5x, right? So this is your answer. So this is how you can solve. This is on the first property, first shifting theorem. Now let us look at the second property. So you have this question here that find L inverse of log of p minus 1 upon, okay, s minus 1 upon s plus 1, right? So you see, you don't have any formula for Laplace transformation or inverse where log is involved. So you see, I have this f of s here is log of s minus 1 upon s plus 1. So I can write it as log of s minus 1 minus log of s plus 1. Now something should strike to your mind that I know the formula for 1 upon s minus 1, L inverse formula, but I don't know the formula for log. So is there any way that you can convert it into 1 upon s minus 1? The answer is yes, you just differentiate it, right? So that is how it should strike to your mind. So you differentiate with respect to s. So you are going to get f dash s is equal to 1 upon s minus 1 minus 1 upon s plus 1. Now you just take L inverse. L inverse f dash s will be L inverse of 1 upon s minus 1 minus L inverse of 1 upon s plus 1. Now you use the property here. This is equal to minus x f of x. Or I can write f of x as L inverse of fx. L inverse of fs, right? Because that is what I want to know. So is equal to e raised power, this is x minus e raised power minus x. So you get L inverse of f of s is e raised power minus x minus e raised power x upon x. So this is your answer. So this is how you can compute these problems. So I can give you another example. So you have L inverse of cot inverse p, you want to find out. So here again, p or s, whatever you want to write. So you can assume f of s is equal to cot inverse of s. Then you can differentiate it. So you will get minus 1 upon s square plus 1, that is the derivative. Now you can find L inverse of f dash s. That will be L inverse of 1 upon s square plus 1. So that you know is sine x, right? Now you can write it as minus x f of x or L inverse of f of s, which is what you want to find, minus sine x. So you get L inverse of f of s is sine x upon x, right? So these are the two properties. This is how you can use these two properties to find out your Laplace inverse of complicated functions. In the next video, we will talk about more properties of Laplace inverse. Thank you. Thank you for watching our video. Please do share and subscribe, and also you can join our channel for paid membership. We have 3 plans, 59, 89 and 119, right? For this you have these 3 live sessions in a month, and for this you have 3 live sessions plus one video of your own choice. You can send us the topic, and we will create a video in a week and we will send you back, or we'll upload on our channel. And plus in this 119 you will have your own PDF notes for a particular playlist. You can go into the join button, you can click the button and you will have detailed information about that, right? And this money, this will not only help you, but it will also help us to create this quality mathematics content for everybody, right? So we are creating these videos for free, and we want that everybody should have a quality mathematics education. So whatever you are contributing, it is kind of donation also. It will be, it will help us in scaling up our channel for more videos, and we will try to cover as much as topics as possible. Thank you for your support. Please share this video and keep supporting. Thank you.